What's good, everyone? Welcome to this channel. In this video, I'm going to be replacing my throttle body position sensor. Some of the symptoms are like a rough idle, poor acceleration. I've also read that it can mess with the transmission shifting, making it rough. So we're going to go to the garage. I'm going to pull my Infinity out, and then we'll park this in there, and I'll pop the hood and get on that. So real quick, while I'm parked, I'll show you guys what it is and what it looks like. So I got my stuff from partsgeek.com. It was about 36 bucks. You can also buy like a whole different throttle body for 60 bucks. I didn't really think about that, but it's whatever. So this is the sensor on the side of the throttle body. I guess it has something to do with this. Over time it just malfunctions, but it comes with that, and it also comes with these new clips just in case. And while I have the MAF and the throttle body off, I'm gonna go through and clean both of them. But that's not the only thing I'm gonna be switching. I'm gonna be replacing the computer for the fuel under the truck bed. I got this from Parts Geek too. It's already programmed, it says. Alright, now that's ready, and here is a look at the car one more time. So if you guys are interested in that, we got the bumper that came with the truck that's new, so I'll be installing that sometime here soon. So starting out, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the battery, disconnect the MAF, and we have to take this plug out. So we'll be leaving the air box in. It's a good time to check your filter. And right there. But you can see it is dirty. Right behind there you can see the MAF sensor. Pop this back up. So if you didn't know, we have 1, 2, 3 mufflers to this intake, which is a lot of airflow restriction, and it takes away a lot of sound. So if you ever want better airflow or sound, you want to replace this for sure. So we'll unplug this first. Oh, you have to push down on this middle piece when you pull this gray back. Okay. So now that we have that disconnected, before we go and remove this sensor, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the throttle body out. So with this, I got it at Walmart for about 9 bucks. We'll go ahead and use this. Get this blade cleaned. Clean this off where the seal goes. That's already making a difference right there. Pop this off. And that's what it looks like underneath. Looks like we have our 2 little prong parts there, and the seal came off with this. I'm gonna keep it open all the way real quick and see if I move that, which I did, so that should be good. All right, so we have that new one on. All the clips are on. I'm just gonna kind of push this up and down. Try to make sure everything lines up good. So it seems like it's all good. So this is done. We're gonna set this aside and then clean the MAF. Put a little bit on the rag, and you can go ahead and just rub it on the surface. There we go. So just hit that side, hit this side. There's about 4 sides you should probably hit. And some of this should fall down onto the MAF. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it from the back side where we can see. Hit that a couple of times, maybe hit the tunnel area of it. Make sure we get that, get the back side. Just all out. And then hit it from the front so that we can get the front side of it. Just use up the rest of the can, honestly, if you don't need it, which I'm gonna do. I'm actually switching out the gaskets for the intake. So we'll go ahead and slide this on and put the 2 nuts on the top, and then we'll put the bolts in on the bottom. .89 inch-pounds to foot-pounds is about 7.5, so we're gonna go ahead and set that up. I can go ahead and plug it back in. Make sure it's secure. Shove that in the back. Kind of got to mess around with it. So slip it over the throttle body. And then there's a spot you push down. Hook this vent back up. Make sure your connections are all good. And now we're gonna put the fuel control management computer. I couldn't find the setup that you have to take this off in the truck, so I had to go and buy one. So I bought this at AutoZone. I have to get my key and pull that out. That's kind of cool. So here it is, right above the spare tire, which we're gonna go ahead and drop. To disconnect this, you have to pull up on this tab right here, and then it might be kind of dirty, so wiggling it back and forth will help loosen up whatever's in there. Go ahead and shake it out. So we have that disconnected now. We can set it aside, put it up there or something, then we can get to our bolts. Alright, so the new computer comes with these bolts, and I don't want to put these in because, so we're just going to go ahead and reuse the 10 mils since it's nice and easy. We'll go ahead and slide this on. Now we're going to go ahead and connect it. Get the shake and a blow one more time. Go. So I think you just push it to a certain point and then bend this back up. Make sure your wires are all in there, and that's about it. Now that I had the garage cleaned, I went through and swept up and kind of cleaned up. Since I pulled this out, there's a lot of dirt. So the front of the tank up here, this bolt came out decently good without stripping. So what happens is this thing right here, it wasn't necessarily that this stripped, but these 2 clips broke, and when that happened, the top of this would just keep spinning and the bottom would just sit on the bolt like this. So what I had to do was go through and cut the bolt like this. And you're probably wondering, how do you do that? Well, you do that with a oscillating saw, I think that's how it's called. I got this Dremel one, so that's all I had. So this was like 20 bucks, but it did the job, but it also got really messed up within the process. So I had to make, what is it, like 2-3 cuts. Go to, like, you can go to Napa or AutoZone. These shouldn't rust, I don't think, It looks like they have a coating and they have a good weld. But yeah, so we'll get some new ones. These were like 12 bucks. Next, if you have a Harbor Freight or somewhere, you can get this Pittsburgh fuel line clean quick disattachment, I guess, tool. And it comes with a set of them, and it does have the right one to do it. I already have it on the fuel tank, but that will be for this line. Basically, you just push it on there and it pops little clips that are holding that, and then that will be out of the way. The rest of it's good. When you take these off, make sure you do it by hand. If you can, spray some PB Blaster up in there somehow to kind of get up over these threads and then let it sit for a while. That'll probably work a lot better, and then still replace these no matter what. You'd be a fool not to. So leave you with that. So we're gonna go ahead and switch the fuel pump out real quick, and then I'm gonna start putting it back underneath. If you don't have like a jack or anything, like a special jack for that, I used some wood, just kind of put up under there, and then I used my little jack down there to just kind of jack it up and then bring it down, and I used some jack stands just to put on each side. So it's definitely doable. It's not that hard. Putting it back up is going to be a little difficult, but not too hard. So while this is under the truck, you'll disconnect the connectors, and then when you have it up off the truck, there's this clip that you just push right underneath, and then that'll slide out. This one, push these two, that'll pop out. And then this one you might need something to kind of push up against. Definitely leave this on while you're taking all this off. I had this off just because I wanted to see what was in there. There we go. We'll go ahead and pull it out. Just be careful with like the dirt and stuff around it. Oh, guess there's gonna be gas coming out, so just be careful. I don't know which way the gas pours out with this. Oh, there we go. A little bit of a mess. Nothing too bad though. So we can set that aside. If you have a rag, put it on a rag. Keep it getting everywhere else. We'll get another rag. Clean this up. Try to get some of this dirt away from the edge so don't go falling in. Then take our old seal off. We'll definitely be replacing that. Try to put this down here and clean off our little seal area because it's very gunked up. All right, that looks a heck of a lot better. With the previous one, when I was in the truck and I'd fuel up, it wouldn't read right sometimes. It would read that the gas was already 3/4 when I just fueled up. So that was one thing with that pump setup that was an issue. Put our seal on. Carefully put this in. We'll go ahead and put this on. There we go. I feel like that's a lot better.
go. Perfect. I'll take our little plugs off, clamp these on. Perfect. I'm going to put this on first. This one might be a little tough to get on. Just make sure it's completely on before you move forward. There we go. It made a nice little click, so that'll be fine. You can push and check it. There we go. All right, so that's good. Now, the only other part is putting this back in, which is gonna be kind of tough, but shouldn't be bad. If you do this, make sure you like drive most of your fuel out. The new, I guess bolt clamps or whatever you call these, bolt clips maybe, but make sure you put them in. This one I had to kind of give a tap and hammer. And then what you're also gonna wanna do is make sure that your bolt goes all the way in and that it will actually go in and not like have anything in its way. I had to do that with this front one. I just kind of wiggled it around until it caught in, and then yeah, so now that's all good. These are good. So next we'll go ahead and start jacking this up. We gotta set up some boards and stuff under it. There we go. So it definitely ships a lot better than what it used to. And stay tuned for other things like the intake gasket video that I'll have coming out, where we also replace the valve cover gaskets. So till then, I'll see y'all later.